Imagine waking up at the crack of dawn to the sound of boots stomping up your porch, only to find your HOA president, flanked by sheriff's deputies, shoving a demolition order in your face like she's evicting a squatter from her own kingdom. This self-appointed suburban queen thought she could bulldoze my hand-built retreat, built on memories and sweat, just because it didn't match her cookie-cutter vision of community excellence. But oh, the irony, her power trip was about to crash headfirst into a wall of federal land rights, leaving her reputation in ruins and the whole neighborhood cheering her downfall. My name's Alex Harlan, and 2 years back, I lost my partner, Jamie, to a brutal fight with ALS. We'd always talked about ditching the city grind for a quiet spot in the Oregon hills, where Jamie's family had roots going back generations. After the funeral, that suburban split level felt like a tomb of echoes, so I cashed in my inheritance. 1.5 acres of wild, untamed land at 7,000 feet, wrapped in Douglas firs and the kind of quiet that lets you breathe again. As a former software engineer turned freelance coder, I knew my way around systems and rules. I jumped through every hoop: county permits, environmental assessments, even a geotech survey to prove the ground wouldn't slide away in a rainstorm. Built the place myself over endless weekends. 900 square feet of reclaimed timber, wind turbine for power, and a gray water system that recycled every drop like a hippie engineer's wet dream. My rescue mutt, Scout, and I settled in, coding by day, hiking by dusk, piecing our shattered world back together one log at a time. Then entered Vivian Thorpe, the HOA enforcer who'd slithered into our semi-rural enclave like a virus in pearls. She rolled in from Portland a year ago, piloting a gleaming black Lexus with plates reading Prop Keen. Her vehicle eternally mud-free despite our gravel lanes, probably because she hosed it down twice a day like it was her child. The type who quotes community covenants like scripture while sipping organic lattes, Vivian clawed her way to HOA president in record time, preaching about elevating standards, as if our wooded lots were a gated McMansion club. We're talking a lady who patrolled with a laser level to check fence alignments and snapped pics of overgrown flower beds like they were crime scenes. Her signature scent, some overpriced floral balm, announced her arrival before her clipped heels did, always in business casual that screamed, "I'm better than this backwoods life, but here to fix it." Vivian zeroed in on me because my off-grid setup devalued the aesthetic harmony. Forget that my closest neighbor was a quarter-mile through brambles. She'd show up uninvited, notepad flapping, cataloging my wind turbine as if it were a junkyard eyesore. The first skirmish hit on a foggy autumn morning, leaves slick underfoot and the air thick with wood stove haze from distant chimneys. Vivian strutted up in a wool blazer worth my monthly utilities, her eyes narrowing at my turbine blades spinning lazily in the breeze. "Mr. Harlan," she declared, voice honeyed with false politeness, "your installation breaches several architectural guidelines. It's unsightly and disrupts the natural flow of the neighborhood." I leaned against the porch rail, coffee mug steaming. "Ma'am, this land's been family-owned since the 80s. Never joined your HOA. Check the deeds." Her smile tightened like a noose. "Oh, but all legacy properties are bound by our updated covenants. You'll submit for review, of course. Fees just $400 upfront, plus modifications." She waved dismissively at my gray water tanks. "These contraptions? They'll have to go. Think of the property values." That's when whispers started. Neighbors muttering I was the recluse eco-freak, tanking resale prices. Folks who'd shared trail tips suddenly avoided eye contact at the local market, their gazes dropping to price tags like I'd grown horns. That night, under the glow of my LED lantern, I unrolled my grandma's faded deed on the kitchen counter, the paper crackling like old bones. Comparing it to Vivian's emailed boundary map, something stank. My plot's markers didn't align with her empire's edges. A quick call to the county assessor next day confirmed it. "Alex, there's a glitch in the old plats," the clerk drawled, a veteran of these squabbles. "Your land butts right up against BLM territory, Bureau of Land Management. Never came up before." That nugget sparked my quiet plan. Vivian was about to learn that her rulebook didn't cover federal turf. Weeks later, escalation came via certified mail, a packet thick as a bad novel plopping onto my doormat. Vivian demanded $400 for review, plus $40 daily fines until I harmonized my setup. Photos attached. My turbine labeled visual pollutant. Scout's dog run called a nuisance structure. She'd CC'd the county and sheriff, fishing for official muscle. I drove to the assessor's office that afternoon, folder in tow. The waiting area reeked of stale donuts and faded dreams, fluorescent bulbs flickering like bad omens. "Hey, Carl," I said to the clerk, sliding over Vivian's manifesto. He scanned it, snorting. "This gal's got the authority of a mall cop at the Pentagon. Your permits? Solid gold. We photocopied everything. Approvals, inspections, a county letter stating no HOA oversight needed. Mailed my rebuttal certified, but I dug deeper. State records showed her HOA's charter had expired 4 months prior, red flagged as defunct. Enforcing rules as a ghost organization? Priceless irony." Vivian's comeback was swift, a voicemail dripping with saccharine threat. "Mr. Harlan, noncompliance invites emergency measures. Safety first, you understand." She filed a disturbance complaint about my turbine's hum, inaudible beyond 50 feet. Deputy Ellis rolled up one drizzly evening, cruiser lights cutting the twilight, looking sheepish as a kid caught raiding the cookie jar. Scout barked once, then wagged, good judge of vibes. "Got a noise report, sir," Ellis mumbled. "Says your wind thing's keeping folks up." I chuckled, gesturing to the empty woods. "Nearest house is through that thicket. Want to hike over and pull him?" He eyed the paperwork. "This is odd. Want to see something odder?" I pulled up the state site on my phone. "Her HOA's legally dead." Ellis's brows shot up. "She's been flooding us with these. Pattern emerging." After he left, I phoned neighbor Gus, a grizzled ex-logger with a voice like gravel in a blender. "Alex, that which fined Widow Ellis for her wildflower patch. Said it invited pests." Pieces clicked. Vivian wasn't just after me. She targeted the old-timers, the independents, anyone clashing with her polished paradise. I documented like a digital detective. Screenshots, timestamps, neighbor affidavits. Vivian was building her own noose with every overreach. Next, she slapped a lien on my title for unpaid dues. From a zombie HOA, that bogus filing? Future Exhibit A in her undoing. Undeterred, Vivian amped up the absurdity, mailing Safety Summit invites to every address in a mile radius. She lured a county inspector with tales of imminent hazards. The meeting unfolded in the drafty community hall on a blustery November night, air heavy with wet coats and forced civility. Vivian had set up like a TED Talk gone wrong. Slideshow of my violations, laser pointer dancing accusingly. Chairs squeaked as locals shuffled in, boots tracking mud she'd later complain about. "Fellow residents," she intoned, voice laced with faux concern. "One individual's defiance endangers our shared harmony. Property values plummet with such rustic anomalies." Inspector Hale interrupted, puzzled. "I was summoned for emergencies. Structural collapse? What's this slideshow?" Vivian faltered, blush creeping under her foundation. "Well, potential risks." I rose, folder ready. "Inspector, care to review my code-compliant docs?" For 15 minutes, I laid it out. Permits, photos of reinforcements, Hale nodding approval. This setup? Overbuilt if anything. Most homes wish they were this safe. The room hushed, but I spotted gold. Her HOA address matched her realty firm. Pre-meeting research revealed her pattern, harassing the vulnerable to flip their lots. "One more thing," I said. "This enforcement? Targeted sales bait. Widow Ellis's flowers gone. Then buyers appear. Gus's shed find. Poof. Offers roll in." Vivian blanched. "Irrelevant." Murmurs swelled as victims shared tales. The hall divided, her cronies defensive, originals fuming. As folks exited into the chill, she announced a $2,500 emergency levy per home. I refused on the spot, citing her expired charter. Morning after, another lien, more ammo for the feds. Vivian's Yuletide gift landed December 22nd. A process server slogging through slush, deputies idling behind. Demolition imminent, he grunted, breath fogging. Health hazards. Vivian claimed authority to raise my home Christmas Eve. Like Scrooge on steroids. Scout growled. I recorded. Deputies, before you enforce fiction. I showed BLM maps. My land? Federal since the New Deal. Their faces? Priceless. Ma'ams overstepped, one muttered. Vivian had bribed Inspector Hale or tried, offering incentives for violations. Hale reported it. Felony bait. Meanwhile, I coordinated with BLM rangers. Surveys confirmed federal jurisdiction. Her fines on BLM land? Fraud City. FBI white-collar unit sniffed extortion in her liens. On January 10th, Vivian called an urgent assembly to expose threats, oblivious to the trap. She went nuclear, recruited patrols staking my place, documenting mundane acts like firewood stacking as evidence. Gus dubbed it suburban spy farce. She spun fake online smears. Me as unhinged hermit. Even hit up my old bosses, alleging tech glitches from stress, clueless to coder loyalty. Her crowning idiocy. A January 13th ultimatum, CC'd everywhere, demanding self-demolition or federal pursuit. Incriminating gold. Reporter Mia verified, prepping her expose. FBI built airtight. Wire fraud, extortion, false claims. BLM docs sealed it, no private oversight. Allies assembled. Mia's report, Gus's statements, county logs of her flops. The hall overflowed January 17th, tension thick as fog. Vivian's setup, podium, lights, even a stenographer. Like her delusion deserved records. I entered calm, folder light as victory. She launched, "This menace undermines our values." Slides of my horrors. Turbine as eyesore. Scouts Bowl as biohazard. Federal breaches too. Penalties incoming. I stood. Vivian. Forest Service says otherwise. BLM papers aloft. Federal land. Her face drained to ghost white. Impossible. Means your liens? Fraud on Uncle Sam. FBI agent Torres and BLM's Klein advanced. Badges flashing. Miss Thorpe. Arrested for fraud, extortion, false federal claims. Chaos. Applause from the oppressed, her flock stunned. But standards, she wailed in cuffs. You've got standards like a fox guards hens, Torres quipped. Mia's flashes captured the walk of shame. Post-bust, Vivian's castle crumbled. Charges piled, license yanked, assets seized, lawsuits from victims. Fines reversed with interest. Community exhaled. Widow Ellis replanted flowers defiantly. Gus hosted tyrant-free BBQs. Mia's Series 1 awards, sparking HOA reforms statewide. I founded the Rural Rights Network, aiding the bullied with legal tools. Workshops teach. Question authority. Arm with facts. A year on, our hills thrive. Neighbors swap seeds, not subpoenas. Vivian, 24 months federal time, banned from HOAs. Her tale? Textbook hubris. But here's the kicker. In a world of rigid rules, is the real villain the rule breaker or the rule twister hiding behind community good?